Welcome back to the Dr. Nandi Show. Up next, we have one of my most favorite people on the planet, Dr. Madiha Saeed, a board-certified integrative holistic family physician and a health coach to thousands. It's great to have you here, Dr. Saeed.
Oh my God, I'm so honored and so blessed to be here. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Tell me about this holistic mom MD. What's it all about?
Well, after years of dealing with families with multiple chronic issues of all ages and, combating and fighting and winning chronic disease in my own self, and having 4 boys under the age of 10 and under,
Wow.
I realized a very harsh reality.
Yeah.
And that reality was that doctors are not taught really what they needed to keep a patient healthy and happy. We're not taught any of that. We're not taught a single class of nutrition. We're not taught any parenting. We are really just taught, here's a problem and here's a pill.
Correct.
So I really wanted to get this message out there to show families that it was really easy, time, and cost-effective tips that you can incorporate into your only daily life to help the families get back in charge of their own health. So it's
it's integrative. It's not just about taking this pill or taking this prescription or a diet, but rather incorporating a kind of a holistic. Integrative message. Tell me about that. What does it incorporate?
So what happens is, what is really key and important is that we have literally, as parents, our children's brains in our hands.
And you got
because
these.
as these are little brain cells that we are born with. And we are born with most of our billions of cells, but very limited connections. And those connections are built depending on if you're getting more harsh love.
And you've got some things here to help us, yeah.
Yes, so if you're getting more harsh connections versus love and care connections, love and care, what happens is that because all of these cells are so unconnected, depending on our life circumstances, we can build them. So if you have like harsh connections, these are little brains, we start to building these harsh connections and increases the stress response systems. But what happens is, if you notice, there's very little love.
Yes.
That's what you really need to have a really caring, loving child, is those connections. But with love and care, you start building these love and care connections, and releases oxytocin and that feel-good hormone. So just right from the beginning of birth, you can start developing those connections, and that determines what your child's going to be.
And you're positive, and we talk about, and we've talked about this show on the show many times about cortisol levels. And when you have this stress, as you talked about, all these harsh connections, you build up cortisol. And why do we care about that? Cortisol and the stress hormones can actually increase the inflammation. And what is inflammation? The basis of all disease. And if you have those diseases at a young age, you set up your life for failure. So this is super important. I love how you set this up, which is really understandable. When you think about these as connections, the red being the harsh connections, the blue being the positive, and this is what we strive to do. We did a show at a different time about foster kids, and they were missing these connections. It's so important that they didn't feel loved, they didn't feel wanted, they didn't get the oxytocin. All they got was unopposed cortisol and stress. So it's nice. And the thing also that I will say is that this can be learned. And people think that this is, well, my kid is naturally happy. My kid is naturally not happy. Or my kids are born this way. But it's really not. You as a parent can do so much, can't you? You have 4 kids. I admire you for being able to even sleep and laugh and with 4 kids under 10, right?
Under 10 and under.
I have 2 boys that are under 10, and they rule me. So I know your kids are either beautiful, but that's an amazing testament that you're doing all this amazing work for the planet and caring for your kids.